place your hand over your heart right now. Feel that beat. Feel the warmth of it. Then ask yourself, completely honestly, in the privacy of your own chest, have you ever felt like the life you're living is somehow beneath the one you were meant to live? Like there's a version of you so complete, so awake, that everything you're currently experiencing is just a fraction of what's actually possible. If something in you just moved, keep reading. There is a body of knowledge so ancient, so precisely accurate, that for thousands of years the people who carried it were hunted, executed, and buried without names. Libraries were burned. Schools were dismantled. Entire lineages of wisdom were erased. And the reason had nothing to do with heresy or politics. It had everything to do with what happens inside a human being who fully absorbs what this knowledge contains. Because when a person truly understands what they are, something fundamental shifts. They stop accepting limitations that were never theirs to begin with. They stop spending their one life building someone else's dream. They stop exhausting themselves chasing approval from people who benefit from their self-doubt. A person standing in that kind of knowing cannot be managed, cannot be kept small, and that has always been deeply inconvenient for every system of control ever built on this planet. So the knowledge was suppressed, encoded, hidden inside architecture, ritual, and initiation so that only those willing to risk everything could access it. And it worked. For a very long time, it worked. The knowledge itself is this. Consciousness is the fundamental substance of reality. It does not live inside the skull. It does not emerge from biology. It is the field in which everything, including the body, including thought itself, exists and moves. You are awareness expressing itself through physical form, temporarily, voluntarily, with full intention. You chose this body. You chose this moment in history. You chose the specific difficulties that would crack you open in exactly the places you needed to be cracked open. And you did all of this with a clarity and a courage that the human version of you forgot the moment you arrived. This means reality does not happen to you. Reality happens from you. Across thousands of documented sessions conducted over decades, individuals from completely different backgrounds, cultures, and languages, with no contact with each other and no shared frame of reference, independently surfaced the same truths, the same architectures of consciousness, the same understanding of what human beings actually are, the same precise, granular descriptions of knowledge the modern world has no institutional language for. The convergence was not approximate. It was exact. That kind of consistency does not come from imagination. It comes from memory. There are three foundational pieces to what was recovered. The first is that you chose this life before you were born. Deliberately, consciously, with full awareness of the parents who would shape your specific wounds, the losses that would hollow out exactly the right spaces, and the moment in history you were arriving into. You understood something in the choosing that the human version of you forgot at birth. This moment, right now, with everything it contains, is not an accident. It is a curriculum. The second is that there is a layer of you that has never forgotten any of this. It speaks through intuition, through the sudden knowing that arrives before the mind has time to construct an explanation, through the feeling in your chest when something is true, and the feeling in your body when something is wrong. Every moment you've ever thought, I just knew, that was the part of you that has never lost contact with what it is. It has been speaking your entire life. The question has only ever been whether you were listening. The third, and the one that has been most aggressively suppressed throughout human history, is that there is nothing to earn. The power you've been searching for is not waiting at the end of a spiritual process. It is already fully, completely, unconditionally present in you right now. The entire distance between the life you're living and the life you're capable of living is the story you were handed about what you deserve. That's it. That's the whole gap. Here is the practice. It did not come from theory. It emerged from thousands of independent sessions in which people, reaching the deepest available layer of themselves, independently and repeatedly pointed toward the same approach. Each morning, Before you open your eyes, before you reach for your phone, before the mind reassembles its familiar architecture of worry and task and identity, there is a window of a few minutes where something extraordinary is available. The deeper self is still close to the surface. The ego has not yet rebuilt its walls. In that window, before it closes, say these words with your whole body, with the part of you that has never forgotten. I am the creator of my reality. I have always been the creator of my reality. I remember this now. 3 times. Slowly. With full intention directed into every syllable. Not as a wish, as a remembering. Once a day, in whatever quiet moment is available to you, ask yourself one question. Only one. What am I not seeing about my own power right now? Then be completely still. The answer will not arrive as a thought. It will bloom in the center of your chest with the particular quality of things that are simply, undeniably true. Write it down immediately. Honor it as the most important message you will receive that day, because it is. When fear rises, and it will, do something that goes against every instinct the modern world has trained into you. Pause. Place your hand on your heart. Ask the fear directly, what love are you protecting right now? Fear is compressed love. It is what love looks like when a soul has been told repeatedly that something it cares about deeply is in danger. The moment you find the love underneath it, something ancient and exhausted finally exhales. The fear does not vanish. It transforms. It becomes information. It becomes fuel. It becomes the very energy that powers the life you actually came here to live. Every evening before sleep, place both hands on your heart. Take 3 slow, full breaths. And say, I release today. I release every moment I forgot who I was. I release every story I allowed to make me smaller. I forgive myself completely. I return now to the truth. I am the light that cannot be extinguished. I am going home. Do this every night for 30 days without exception. The people around you will begin asking what is different about you before you have found the words to explain it. Now hear this. In thousands of sessions reaching people at the deepest available layer of themselves, across every kind of life, every kind of wound, every kind of private conviction that they had somehow missed their moment or fallen too far behind or wanted too much, every single soul without exception came back as something luminous. Not one person in all of that listening returned as anything less than magnificent. The criminals, the broken ones, the people who had spent decades believing they were fundamentally unworthy. At the level of what they actually were, there was only light. Vast, ancient, completely uncontainable light. Apply that to yourself, right now, with all your doubts and your grief and the voice that visits at 2 a.m. to tell you that you are not enough, that you have missed it, that the life you wanted is no longer available to you. At the level of what you actually are, there is only that same light. Not small, not flickering, not conditional on anything you have or haven't done. The same ancient radiance that lives in every soul that has ever walked this earth lives fully and completely in you. You did not arrive here by accident. Something pulled this toward you because the part of you that has never forgotten has known for a long time that it was ready. Ready to stop pretending it didn't know what it knew. Ready to stop waiting for permission that was granted before you were born. Every door that closed was keeping you from a room that would have diminished you. Every loss made space for something that could not have entered otherwise. Every moment of feeling most alone was a moment of being most prepared. And this moment, this exact one, with these exact words at this exact point in your life, is the remembering of something that was never actually lost. The knowledge was held in trust across centuries of persecution, carried forward by people who gave everything to make sure it reached you intact. And it arrives now not as new information, but as recognition. The kind that lives in the body. The kind that doesn't need proof. The only thing ever asked of you was the willingness to remember. And the fact that you're still reading these words tells you everything you need to know about whether you're ready. You already know. You have always known. All that's left is choosing to stop pretending otherwise.